Folks, this is Fernando doing another video for the More Survivalist, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Zebralight H52W. I think this is probably the best survivalist flashlight out there. The best EDC light you can have for a survival-minded person. Back in the day, I called this Streamlight Sidewinder Compact 2 the best survivalist flashlight. I still think it's there on top of the list. Now I'm kind of between these two, but back in the day, mostly because it can use any AA, AAA format and CR123A batteries. All of those work in the Sidewinder Compact 2, and you have the option of using different lights: red, infrared, blue, and white. And it has that military grade toughness. Very reliable, very tough flashlight, which uses pretty much any battery you can come across. The Zebralight H52W is right there. It's not maybe as versatile in terms of batteries, but stick around because there's actually a little surprise that you probably didn't know about this flashlight. All right, as you see, it says made in China. It's designed in Texas. Well, I guess most things these days flashlight related are made in China, not the exception here. Little piece of paper, stop. It's basically explaining that it recommends using the Sanjo Eneloop batteries for maximum brightness, so as to achieve the full potential of the flashlight, or Energizer lithium batteries. The Sanjo Eneloops are usually the ones Zebralight recommends for their products. You have the manual, which is really not as good as it should be. One of the very few criticisms I can make of the Zebralight. You have your flashlight, which is an angle head flashlight, which I like because it allows you to be used not only as a headlamp, which is the intended use for the Zebralight. It comes with this strap, so it has to be used as a headlamp, which does so very well using these silicone rings. It also comes with a little bag. As you see, I wrote there the name of the flashlight that it's intended for, because as you have several of these, it gets easy to get them mixed up and then not remembering which one goes. The Zebralight H52W is the neutral white color version. There's a cool white version as well. I like neutral white because it allows me to see colors a little bit better in my experience. It renders colors better than the cool white, which is usually a little bit brighter, at least in actual lumens, but I find it to be more useful in neutral white. Have the cheat sheet here, and these are going for $64 in Amazon. I'm going to be leaving the link below. I've actually been thinking about buying this flashlight for actually several years now. It's been around for some time. I know it's an all-time favorite for a lot of people. I really like the specs. I really like the design as well. I always, for some reason or another, never got around to buying it. Always liked it, but just until now, I bought it. I've been using it for maybe 3 weeks now, and I really like it. Okay, let's get through some of the things that you have. You're using a Cree XM-L2 LED. They upgrade the LEDs as time goes by, but basically the format is still the same. The angle head flashlight has the advantage of, even if you're not carrying the head strap, which would be ideal, of course, for those chores in which you want to be using both hands, at the very least you can attach this, and I've done this in the past, to the neck of your shirt or your t-shirt, right? With a clip, and you put light ahead of you, and it allows you to use both hands. You can even attach it maybe to a front pocket of your jeans, or a belt, or a strap in a backpack. Not as good as actually using the headlamp, but it allows you to use both hands, freeing both hands. The reflector is an orange peel reflector, which has a nice hot spot. It's more of a, I don't think it's much of a throw in terms of the angle of the lights. It's more of a good combination of flat and throw. All right, does nicely, and there's no artifacts or dark rings or anything. The user interface is a little bit tricky, takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's it's definitely worth it. You know, once you get used to the little things it has, I'm using instead of using a rechargeable any loop, I'm using a 14500 lithium ion battery. This gives me the maximum brightness in the high mode, which is 500 lumens. All right, and this is one of the things that's not explained in the manual, which would have been nice to have it there. But when using the maximum output mode, the high mode, it's going for 500 lumens, but just for 1 minute. The reason is that it gets too hot. After a minute, it drops to the standard high mode, which is 280 lumens. Basically, a flashlight has three modes. It has low, medium, and high. But within low, medium, and high, you have two within those. You have L1 and L2, you have medium 1, medium 2, and you have a high 1 and high 2. High 1 is going to be fixed. It's 280 lumens, all right, unless you're using lithium ion battery, in which case it's 500 lumens for just 1 minute, then goes back to 280. And then for H2, you can program either one of these. You can program either 172 lumens for 1.7 hours or 108 lumens for 3 hours. Something similar happens with medium mode. In M1, you have the fixed 50 lumen for 7.5 hours, or you have the M2 at either 25 lumens for 12 hours or 12 lumens for 27 hours. Low mode, you have L1 fixed at 2.7 lumens for 4 days, or using the L2, which can be either at 0.34 lumens for 3 weeks, 0.06 lumens for 2 months, or 0.01 lumens for 3 months. Now, how does this all basically work? The following way. You have your flashlight, you click it, and it turns on. It always turns on the high mode. Either one of these, either H1 or H2, but it's always going to be high mode. And you go between these two by double clicking, all right? You double click and you go into H2, you double click again, and it goes into H1. If I double click and leave it in H2, turn it off, turn it on again, and it's going to be again that high mode, all right? Either one of these, whichever one I use last. Let's say I want to be using the low mode. In that case, with a long press click, you turn on the low mode. In this case, I think it was a 0.06 lumens. One of the characteristics unique that I like is the option of having such low moonlight modes. You know, low modes at this voltage, at this output at under 1 lumen, usually they're called moonlight modes. You know, with some of these, you get insane amount of runtime at very low lumens, but that's the point. You have a flashlight that runs for a very long time, and if push comes to shove, that's all you have to work with. You can go for a long period of time that way. You double click again and it goes into that L1 mode, all right? Double clicking again, L2. And so as to switch between low, medium, and high, you just hold and it starts cycling low, medium, high. Low, medium, right? Again, medium, double click, you change into the other one. All right, basically that's how it works. Another very nice feature that it has, that again, not all flashlight has this, is that you have the option of using the battery indicator. The light uses the main LED flashing 1 to 4 times to indicate the estimated remaining capacity of the battery. So you flash to start the battery indicator, short click 4 times without pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there it does that flashy thing where it just flashed 2 times, meaning I have somewhat of 50% left of battery, or between 50% and 75%, between 1 and 4 flashes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's showing me that once you reach just 1 blink, probably you should be recharging it. Then you have the beacon and strobe modes, which you access by doing 3 short clicks. 1, 2, 3, and we go into that strobe or beacon. Double clicking again, we access the other one. All right, all things that I like having in the flashlight. And what is it that it makes it so special for me? Well, the angle head lamp with a clip, That allows you to use your two hands sometimes and somewhat have light placed where you want it. I was using it recently for changing the filters in my car. This is, ideally you would have the head strap as well. This is even better as to put it light exactly where you want it. But the angle headlamp with the angle reflector with a clip works beautifully for that sort of thing. Then you have the ability of using standard AA batteries, which are available everywhere, but also lithium-ion batteries, which many lights out there use, but many of them lose functions when you use those. All right, not the case here. You're not losing anything. You're just adding the possibility of having those 500 lumens. So that's something that I like having here as well. I like that you have that battery indicator, so as to know when I'm running short of battery and need to recharge. Now, one of the things that I love and make the Sidewinder Compact 2 so great is the ability of using AA, AAA, and CR123 batteries. Now, being the kind of person that I am, I just said, what if, right? So I removed the battery and tried AAA battery. What happens if? What if, right? What if something terrible happened and that's all you have left? And no, it's not great, but it actually works. If you want something better, you can use maybe a little piece of paper as a spacer so as to keep it centered in there in the tube. But the thing is, it actually works with a AAA battery as well. No, it's not ideal. No, it's not saying so in any of the manuals online or on the manual that it comes with, but it does work with, it's not great because if you shake it a little bit around, you can disengage it, but with maybe a paper spacer around it so as to keep it in place, you can actually use, again, the Modern Survivalist channel, folks, we think of worst case scenario. What if all I have left is batteries out of a remote control in some hotel, half drained? Well, you can actually use it in your Zebralight as well. And not only that, but you have all the different modes as well. You see how it's using the moonlight mode? You can access the high mode as well. Of course, it's not going to be a lithium-ion battery kind of output in the high mode, but it works. That's the key word. All right. So all these things are what, in my opinion, makes this a very strong contender for the best survivalist flashlight out there. It's not tough like this Sidewinder Compact 2. Then again, it's much smaller. Okay, and it's much brighter as well. Construction is aluminum, and yeah, it's nice enough. You have that gunmetal finish, which is very nice. It's been bumping in my pocket for some time now against my Letterman Charge. Nothing too bad in terms of wear and tear, but of course it's going to be showing somewhere, as always aluminum does. But yes, I think it's a great flashlight and a strong contender for the best one to have in your pocket. Folks, as I said before, I'm going to be leaving the link below there in Amazon if you want to check it out. If you've been thinking about it, go for it, because I think it's definitely worth it, at least giving it a good honest try. Guys, that's going to be all for now. Remember to subscribe. Take care. See you on our next video. Have a great day.